1, 2. 7 flatter, fly no shedding feathers, better sever or.
What's going on, everyone? I go by the name of KBTHEMARK, co-host of the DMV podcast, and this is your Monday Night Raw review for May 31st, 2021. Before we jump into it, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on the video to help the channel grow. I was reading in the comments, a lot of you guys are not liking the play-by-play, which is understandable, and when we appreciate you guys letting us know. We appreciate the feedback because we definitely want to cater more to you guys who are watching. We want to make sure that you guys are enjoying the video. So keep giving us the feedback. We greatly appreciate it. So what we're going to do now is, going forward, we'll review each segment. I'll tell you my overall opinion on it. And in that, I will let you know if it was good, if it was bad, or if it was god awful. Let us know in the comments if you like that. Like I said, we definitely appreciate the feedback. We want to continue to grow the channel by any means, well, not any means necessary. We want to continue to grow the channel, and the feedback that you guys are offering us definitely helps out. So we're going to go ahead and jump into it. We started off with Miz TV with Charlotte and Rhea Ripley. Love seeing my guy, The Miz, back. John Morrison with the garlic on his neck. You can always count on Johnny Drip Drip to get you a cheap laugh or two. This segment overall, I'm going to say it was good. The Miz and John Morrison will always work for me, and it did lead to just really building up the storyline for the Charlotte and Rhea Ripley Hell in a Cell match. So it definitely helped build that up really well. Nikki Cross coming in and trying to insert herself, that part I really wasn't a fan of, and I'll let you know why here when we jump into the next segment. So this segment, it was good. Next up, we had Charlotte versus Nikki Cross in a 2-minute beat the clock challenge. And this shit here was god awful. And I'll tell you why. Somewhere in the midst of Miz TV, Charlotte said she can beat Nikki Cross in 1 minute. Count it. 1 minute. And I love the queen, but she says she can beat Nikki Cross in 1 minute after Rhea Ripley last week couldn't beat her in 2 minutes. Okay. So when it came on and I saw that there were 2 minutes on the beat the clock challenge, I could have sworn that I could have sworn that Charlotte said she could beat Nikki Cross in 1 minute. This shit was god awful because Nikki Cross won again. And you pretty much just threw it in our face that she's going to pretty much take 45 seconds to 1:15 with just running around the fucking outside area. And then you make Charlotte look so much like a fucking geek. Instead of paying attention to the clock, she's out here arguing with Rhea Ripley saying, you see this? You see this? This is your fault. Like, you're pretty much doing the same shit that Rhea did last week for getting her in a fucking match. And a 2-minute beat the clock challenge match at that. And then on top of that, Nikki Cross has the nerve to be running around the outside like she won the fucking title. WWE is making everybody in the Raw Women's division look like fucking geeks. Please get this shit off my television. Have Rhea drop it to Charlotte. Send Rhea back to NXT where she can shine and be a fucking star. Next up, we had Damian Priest, Matt Riddle, Randy Orton. Matt Riddle asking Damian Priest to teach him some Spanish. Randy Orton coming out of nowhere, pretty much saying, you used my move. This segment was good. Anything Arcade Bro related, have my attention. It's not even a question. Not even a question. The fact that Matt Riddle goes on tangents and Randy Orton's just like, hey. And Matt Riddle plays along, I'm like, they know what they're doing. After Matt Riddle won with the RKO last week, it should have dawned in my head that Randy Orton was going to win using Matt Riddle's finisher. But like I said, this segment was good. Randy Orton versus Xavier Woods. This match was good. Before I go into that, this match was good. Me and Salamander believe that Xavier Woods can be anywhere from a 5 to 10 time Intercontinental Champion. Well, I'm sorry, United States Champion, because it's on Raw. But even if he went to SmackDown and did a singles run, we believe he could be anywhere from a 5 to 10 time mid-card champion. And this match with Randy Orton with Xavier Woods just added more to the fire. Xavier Woods can go. I want to see him get a singles run. We're doing it with Big E. Kofi looks like he's about to get involved into the main title picture. So let's get Xavier Woods a run with that U.S. title. Maybe he could be the one to take it off Sheamus. I would like that a lot. Randy Orton winning with the bro Derek. Good. It's what really put this segment over. So this is a good segment. I'm sorry, not a segment. This is a good match. MVP and the Almighty. I'm sorry. For Salamander's sake. MVP and the Almighty WWE Champion Bobby Lashley in a lounge with women. This is good. Anything with the WWE Champion, the Almighty WWE Champion Bobby Lashley. Anything with the Almighty is good. You see the suit? I was digging the suit. Nia Jax, Reginald versus Shayna Baszler. Everything about this was god awful. The segment leading up to the match and the match itself, god awful. And it's just sad what I'm about to say. Elimination Chamber before WrestleMania last year, not this past WrestleMania, but the one where they didn't have any fans. Shayna Baszler went through the entire Elimination Chamber field and took everybody out. Now she's losing to Reginald. Let that sink in. This is the same Shayna Baszler who was fucking shit up in NXT. This is the same Shayna Baszler who, in my eyes, put on one of the best women's matches in NXT history with Rhea Ripley. This is a former MMA fighter. And you got her losing to Reginald? He doesn't even do any moves. He just flips. And that's the sad part. Because I used to joke that Reginald was the MVP of the women's division. And then he beat Shayna Baszler. This shit was so god awful. I can't even yell. Because that's how deflated it has me. Like, I'm gonna tell you that Charlotte and Rhea Ripley shit with Nikki Cross was fucking awful. It was god awful. Like, I saw it and I didn't believe it. Because I just knew WWE wasn't gonna go that route. And I said in my last Monday Night Raw review that Monday Night Raw hit a new lows last week. Well, Monday Night Raw just topped itself. Reginald beating Shayna Baszler, a former NXT Women's Champion, on Monday Night Raw. Not a house show. On live television. At this point, Shayna Baszler needs to go to SmackDown. She needs to get away from Reginald. Keep her the fuck away from Reginald. Keep this shit off my fucking television. God awful. Worst thing of the night. That's all I have to say. Moving on, we have Mace and T-Bar versus the Lucha House Party. And this is good. When, I want to say, about a month and a half, maybe 2 months ago, me and Salamander Salamander wanted them to be with the Almighty. I said I didn't want that. I wanted the heels to be true to their word, in which they were. But we were also saying that this could be the making of a really good tag team. And even though it was against Lucha House Party, I thought Mace and T-Bar looked really good. And what could make them a force is just how big and long they are. Mace, I want to know what Mace's wingspan is. Because his wingspan looks to be about maybe 7'2", 7'3". I mean, he made the tag from T-Bar, and I'm like, how do you even reach there? And like I said, their finisher is good too. This is good. I'm glad they're not with Retribution. And I'm glad they're going to make them a tag team, because I feel like they could run that tag team division for a long time. And I would love to see Mace and T-Bar versus the New Day, or a Mace and T-Bar against the Viking Raiders. I would love to see that. Next up, we had Sheamus challenging Humberto Korea and Ricochet, one after the other. And these two matches were bad. Humberto Korea came out and Sheamus lost to a roll-up. Then in the match with Humberto Korea, it looks like Humberto Korea broke Sheamus's nose, and Sheamus still lost. This is why this is bad. This is why this is bad. Your champion should never lose on live television unless they're dropping the title. That's when they should lose. You don't earn a title match by beating the champion. You beat guys in that same division, in that mid card, to get the right to challenge Sheamus. Or you win a number one contenders match. But this is why you should always be building up 2 to 3 people in that mid card. And this is my problem with WWE. You're building up Ricochet and Humberto Carrillo to what I think will probably be a triple threat match at Hell in a Cell for the United States Championship, when you could have had Humberto Carrillo versus Ricochet. But here's the problem with WWE. They don't want to do a face versus face. They always want it to be a face versus heel dynamic. And to me, that's a problem. Because we could have kept Sheamus looking strong by either A, having him beat both of them, or B, just had him out at the end of the match doing some shenanigans between the winner of Humberto Carrillo versus Ricochet. And I can almost guarantee you, if you give Humberto Carrillo and Ricochet some time, maybe 10 to 15 minutes. I would say anywhere from 15 to 18 minutes. You can get a 4.5, 5-star match out of that on Monday Night Raw. I can definitely see Ricochet versus Humberto Korea, a 9:45 time where that match starts, and it's over at about 10:05, 10:15, and you've seen one of the greatest mid-card matches that WWE has put on in quite a while. I know that Ricochet and Humberto Korea against each other can put on a great match. High-flying moves. Just think of the spots you can do. Different topes. You got Ricochet 630. Humberto Carrillo's really got that flying elbow, back elbow. He's really got that looking good. And Humberto Carrillo has put on muscle. So now I'm pretty sure he's added some power moves to his arsenal. So you can get a great 4.5 to 5-star match from Ricochet and Humberto Korea. We didn't have to have Sheamus lose twice. And on top of that, Brody got his nose broke. And then here's my other problem. WWE gets on AEW for saying blood and guts set the wrestling business back 30 years. And that's fine. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. But you showed Humberto Carrillo breaking Sheamus's nose like 2 to 3 times. Like, we didn't need to see that. So this, like I said, these 2 matches, it's a bad for me. It's not the worst thing. I just would have preferred to see Ricochet versus Humberto Korea. That's all. Next up, we have Juana and Naomi versus Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose. This match was bad, but it had good in it, preferably from Lana. I am a Lana supporter and a Lana fan, and a lot of people give me flack for that, and a lot of people says Lana's not that great of a wrestler, and I say everybody's entitled to their opinion. But to me, Lana's been making the little improvements. There was a time a little bit ago where she didn't really know her spots. I go to the time where Nia Jax pulled down the very top rope because Lana was supposed to run and go flying over, but Nia Jax was there for like 3 to 5 seconds, and now it looked predictable, and Lana just decides to run. As in now, she's knowing where to be. She's knowing her spots. It's the little improvements. And I always say that Lana is going to be that diamond in the rough. It's going to take a minute to get her right. But when she's right, I believe she can definitely win that women's championship at least once. And I think the day that Lana really shows that she's put it together and she is already beloved by the fan base, when they put that belt on her, it's going to be a great day for me. It's going to be a great day for Lana as well. This match was bad. The match was bad. I've seen it too many times. Didn't really care about it. But Lana getting a little bit better is the good within the bad for me. Next up, we had Cedric Alexander versus Shelton Benjamin. Pretty much a thumb to the eye. Neutralizer for the win. This was bad. I'm glad it was quick. I'm glad they're pushing Cedric Alexander. I think he could be another great mid-card heel act. You know, he can definitely get a run with that United States Championship, or if he's on SmackDown, that Intercontinental Championship. I can definitely see him in that mid-card as a maybe a number 2 or 3 heel in that mid-card. Can definitely. Raw Tag Team Championship match. AJ Styles and Omos versus Elias and Jackson Ryker. This was bad. This was bad to me, this was bad from a sense of, to me, this was bad from me looking at everything that happened with Elias. Elias asked Jackson Ryker, were you ready for war? Have you ever been in a war? Jackson Ryker is a vet. Now, in the storyline, they're saying that Elias was asking, where was Jackson Ryker when Omos put him through the LED board? Elias, I can answer the question that you also asked, was where was he at when you needed help? I can distinctly remember Jackson Ryker saving you from catching a phenomenal forearm from AJ Styles. He was there, Elias. He was there. And you get off the apron and walk away. I don't know if this was meant to turn Jackson Ryker face, or maybe they were just doing it because it was Memorial Day. I don't know. The whole thing was bad. I didn't understand Elias leaving. And that's really what put me off from this match. So maybe it will develop into something with, maybe it'll develop between Elias and Jackson Ryker. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if this was to turn Jackson Ryker face, or if they were just running this angle for Memorial Day, and then next week the heels will talk and patch it up. Elias saying, I was just flustered, frustrated. I would have preferred Jackson Ryker attacking Elias when Elias was doing his interview. That's what I would have preferred. Next up, Alexa Bliss's Playground with Reginald. This is good. This is double good. 2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up. Shayna Baszler coming and attacking Reginald. Great. Shayna Baszler telling Alexa Bliss, next week we need to talk. Great. The line of the night for me, and I feel like this fits Shayna Baszler's character so well. Before she leaves, she gets down to one knee, talking to Lily the doll, and says, "You're just a doll." And that was laughing. She says she's a stupid doll. That segment gets 2 thumbs up. That segment was good. It was better than good. It was great. But for the sake of the video, it was good. Drew McIntyre versus Kofi Kingston for the number one contenders match to face the almighty WWE champion Bobby Lashley at Hell in a Cell. This was bad. It was predictable. The double count out disqualification This match was bad. This was bad. The double disqualification from last week really let you know who was going to win this match this week. It had a lot of good spots, but my favorite spot was just the ending, the Claymore coming off I believe Kofi was coming off the top rope, and Drew McIntyre hits him with the Claymore. That was the only good part. It was predictable. Like I was talking to a friend of mine, and he's in and out of wrestling. He's actually one of the ones who got me back in it. I was talking to him, and we had came to the conclusion, or not come to the conclusion. I'm sorry. I was telling him last week that, or not last week. I'm sorry. Let me start over. I was talking to a friend of mine today, and I was telling them, and we were just talking about what the match from last night, this match with Drew McIntyre, Kofi Kingston, and I was telling them, they should have just let Kofi win if that's what they wanted, but instead you run it back the next week, and we know what the ending is going to be, because we know you guys want Drew McIntyre and the almighty WWE champion Bobby Lashley at Hell in a Cell. But my thing is, if the rumors out there are true that they want to get Drew his championship win in front of fans, why not let Kofi Kingston win and get a decent match for Hell in a Cell at I'm sorry. Why don't you let Kofi Kingston win and get a match for Hell in a Cell with Kofi Kingston? The main title, if the story, I believe that Hell in a Cell, it should only be in Hell in a Cell if the storylines allows it. If it's been like bad blood, and when you say it like that, that's why they let Drew win. But if Drew loses, we're not going to want to see Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley again once fans are back. We would have seen it so many times that we would be burned out. And even if the match is good, we'll just say, we've just seen it so many times. It's like Charlotte and Asuka. We know they're going to put on a great match, but because you've shoved it down our throats so many times that we don't really care about the match or matches as fans. At least I don't. And I can't speak for everybody else, because there may be somebody out there who says the almighty WWE champion Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre can wrestle every week on my television, and I won't be upset. That's not me. I don't want to see that too many more times. And honestly, if Drew doesn't get it back at Hell in a Cell, I don't want to see Drew in the WWE Championship picture until the almighty WWE champion Bobby Lashley drops the belt. If Drew can't win at Hell in a Cell, I don't want to see him in the title picture until the almighty WWE champion Bobby Lashley has dropped the title. Point blank, period. That's it for the review, everyone. Overall, I'm going to rate the show a 3 out of 10. It was this week's episode of Monday Night Raw was a difficult watch. I found myself incredibly bored watching this episode of Monday Night Raw. More so than I have in previous weeks. This was a hard watch. Match of the night, the main event, Drew McIntyre versus Kofi Kingston, number one contenders match to see who faces the almighty WWE champion Bobby Lashley. Like I said, it had a lot of good spots. It had a lot of great spots. Wrestler of the night, I'm going to give it to Xavier Woods for the second week in a row. I believe I gave it to Xavier Woods last week. If not, let me know in the comments. But I believe I gave it to Xavier Woods. I want to see Xavier Woods with a singles run. Please, WWE and Vince, make it happen. Well, that's it, you guys. That's it for the Monday Night Raw review. Let us know in the comments what you think. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to help the channel grow. Once again, my name is KBTHEMARK, co-host of the DMB podcast, and we will see you soon.